So I went into this movie with really low expectations. I'd seen the trailer and I felt like it was just going to be another one of those films where all the best parts were sprinkled throughout the trailer and nothing interesting was going to happen. I've never been more pleased to be wrong than I was with Game Night. It's actually really funny and charming, and it was fantastic. Honestly, if you've seen the trailer and you felt the same way I did, that a lot of the best parts were taken and put into the trailer, I would honestly argue that many of those moments that were in the trailer just aren't as funny. Like, they work well in a trailer setting, and some of them honestly feel shoehorned in. I just felt like those were the weakest parts of the film in general. There's so much about this film that isn't really reflected in the trailer. Some of it you can kind of deduce, but really, if you didn't look at the trailer with a lot of scrutiny, I think you'll enjoy this movie. But if you haven't seen the trailer, don't watch it. You'll enjoy it even more without it. Perhaps one of my favorite parts of the film was the cinematography, when they would do shots that were sort of like way up in the sky and looking down. Normally those are really boring establishing shots, but in this case they made them look like board games, and it's so great the way they do it. And the first time they do it, they have a great zoom in. I loved that. I fell so deeply in love with that technique. It made shots that are normally a boring obligation really fun and interesting, and I almost wish that there were more of them because it was just so interesting to look at them. Now, there is a similarity between Game Night and Peter Rabbit. I know that those don't seem like it, but hear me out. Both of these films have a similar issue where they are chock full of humor and great jokes, but when you surround it with so many jokes, not all of them are going to hit. That's the problem when you have so many out there, that you're not going to hit 100%. And I would say that's definitely true for this film. I would say, though, that it has a batting average that many other films would be very envious of and wish that they could get that good. If you're a fan of the subgenre of films which deal with what is real and what isn't, I think you're going to enjoy this film because it has a lot of fun playing with the common tropes. In fact, I would say that it does a really good job of just making fun of movie tropes altogether. It'd be wrong to say it doesn't have respect, but it's willing to poke fun at the things that movies so often put into it, and in a really funny way. My favorite character by far is their policeman neighbor, who is so awkward, and it is hilarious. He's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I know my wife didn't necessarily care for him that much, but I found him hilarious. For anyone that might know, the actor who plays this police officer was in Black Mirror, where he plays a character that works at a tech company and builds his own Star Trek parody program. And in that one, I wasn't particularly impressed. I thought he was good, but here was a totally different side of him. He was so awkward and creepy. It was amazing. And honestly, the story's really good in this. There's two main characters that you're following, a husband and a wife, and it's their story. You're finding out how they met and they got together, and that's really fun to watch that. And then you're seeing them as they're going through their struggles, and and you just see them throughout the night, and it's really their struggle. It's showing how they're thinking and how they're going to move forward with the rest of their life. It talks about relationships, it deals with family and what that really means. Honestly, this film is actually way deeper than you would suspect by just watching the trailer. I went in expecting just a nothing hilarious time, and I felt like I got a lot more out of it. This is probably the second best film I've seen after Black Panther so far this year. I haven't seen every film that's come out this year so far, but this is really high, and I think it sets a good bar for future comedy films that are going to be coming out this year. The cinematography is well done, the music's great, the acting was fantastic. I really enjoyed everybody as an actor and actress. The lead two roles are so strong, and all of their friends do a really good job of carrying their parts, even if they're really annoying sometimes. I'd say there's only one weak sort of subplot going on, and I felt like they just threw it in because they had to do something with the two characters. It's a subplot where two characters are dealing with the fact that during a drinking game of Never Have I Ever, one of them admitted that they had slept with a celebrity despite the fact that they've been together since they were both 14 years old. I think there's a way that they maybe could have done it, but honestly, it just kind of distracts from the rest of the film, and I felt like it just didn't really belong, and they put too much time into that storyline. But that's honestly probably the weakest part of the story itself. As I said, sometimes the humor doesn't always match, but personally, I thought the cinematography was great. There's a couple of interesting fight scenes, and I thought it was very clear the action that was going on. The music was great. The characters were very well developed, I felt. I'm glad that I finally had the chance to see it, and that I didn't just write it off, and that I might not have seen this film if it hadn't been for wanting to review it for this show, and I'm really glad that I did. So, at the end of the day, my viewability rating of this film is go watch it. I think it's great. You're going to have a great time when you're watching it. It's one of my favorite films of the year so far. Hey, thanks for watching my video. I hoped you liked it, and if you did, could you give the video a like and subscribe down below? That would be fantastic, and it would really help me in growing this channel. And if you really like the videos I'm producing, it would be great if you would share them with your friends on Facebook or Twitter. It would really help growing this channel. What about you? Have you had a chance to see Game Night? Did the humor resonate with you, or did you not really see what I see in it? I'd be very interested to see down below what you thought of this film. And until the next video, I'll see you then.